Hello, investors. Welcome yet another edition of 18 Minutes with 180 Markets. Friends, we love finding those companies that are really not that well known yet on the market, smaller, with exciting prospects that once they come to fruition will really get those share prices rocketing and push things forward. And that, friends, is what we have on offer today with the company ActiveEX, led by Managing Director Mark Derriman. And the company has a lithium and gold project in regions for lithium not really well explored in Australia. And Mark is going to talk all about it and what makes it so exciting, both for him and for investors. And with that introduction, Mark, welcome to 18 Minutes with 180 Markets.
Well, welcome. Thank you for allowing me to put the ActiveEX story. ActiveEX has been hibernating for many, many years, well before I joined, so it's good for us to be back unhibernated and out exploring again.
Absolutely, Mark, and we're very much looking forward to hearing all about it. But why don't we start out with you? Just tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get to where you are today?
I've been a geologist for about 40 years since I graduated in 1984, and I've had a variety of roles, from someone just kicks rocks in the field to someone that manages exploration programs, does budgeting. I've worked in multiple terrains across Australia, pretty well in most states. I've worked overseas, a little bit in South America and East Timor for various companies. So I've had a wide range of experience, from finding mineralisation at the grassroots level, from stream and soil samples, through to operations, gold mining operations, and out the other side when they're finished. So I've seen the full gamut of the exploration strategy, both from inner mine, outside of mine, right across Australia. So I'm very keen to advance these projects that we've got with ActiveEX, and I think that they've been picked up in highly prospective gold, copper, and potentially lithium terrains.
That's great. And there's so much there in the portfolio, as you just mentioned. Maybe why don't we start out with lithium, because that is seriously the hottest commodity at the moment. And you are exploring in a really unknown area as far as lithium within Australia. Can you just talk about your Georgetown project?
Yeah, it is quite an unusual province. Most of the, as you know, most of the lithium at the moment comes from spodumene in various mines in Western Australia and the Northern Territory, which is quite a specific mineral host in pegmatite. With our Gilberton project, that was our key project. But as part of any exploration strategy, you need to build up your resources and make it a bigger package, so that you can then start toll treating and look at monetising it down the track. So we went from Gilberton and looked at the area of Georgetown, which is halfway between where we are and the gold processing plant, which is used for toll treating gold projects. And we picked up a number of tenements, and we thought that expands our gold focus. And about a year ago, we said, well, what about other commodities? Because the Gilberton, the Lethbridge province in general, which includes Gilberton, Georgetown, and those regions, is host to metal prospects, critical metals, gold, silver, copper. So, and the Mines Department of Western Australia keeps a database which includes all of the mineral occurrences right across Queensland, and so you know what's been produced, what the commodities are. So we looked at all those and we said, well, which of these projects have got lithium? Our initial focus being gold, copper, and silver. So we had it in there, and funny enough, there was one project that had lithium as the main commodity, and that was Buchanan's, which was 10 kilometres northwest of one of our Georgetown projects. We thought, this is really good. What else can we find? So we then did a hunt for all of the commodities for lithium, not just the main commodity, but all the subsidiary commodities that are in that particular area. And we came up with 3 lithium occurrences in Queensland. All 3 of them were northwest of our Georgetown project, and 2 of them were held by a private explorer called Strategic Metals Australia. I know the MD, Graham, quite well, and I thought, well, we'll find out a bit more about that. And in delving into their website, we found out that they completed a collaborative program with the Queensland government, where the Queensland government provides $200,000 funding for exploration drilling. Now, their exploration drilling was for lithium. So when that funding is finished, and after a period of time, it becomes public record. It just so happens that all that knowledge that was gained from the drilling is in the public domain. And so I had a look at that, and it was quite obvious that the lithium was spread not just in the pegmatites, which is standard that you see in most areas, but it's also spread into the surrounding sediments, giving it a much broader target. So the target that you would normally look for in, say, Western Australian search is quite then different to North Queensland. It gives us a much broader target. So we then looked at the geological setting of our tenements and the tenements that Strategic Metals Australia had. They're unlisted, and there was a lot of similarities. So we're then now looking at several tenements in our Georgetown and Derriman project for future lithium potential. And coming to the end of the wet season next year, probably March, we'll be out there, boots on the ground, exploring for lithium as well as gold. But that's how it came about as lithium project, following our strategy to expand.
Yeah, and can you just tell us that area, has it really, most people do not think of North Queensland as an area for lithium. So could this potentially open up a real bonanza that is just previously unknown?
It has the potential. The province has the potential to host lithium. The lithium mineralisation that was originally noted at that project was a mineral called lepidolite, which is lithium mica, as opposed to lithium peroxide, which is spodumene. So it's a different type, but there are a couple of occurrences overseas where this type of mineralisation is being mined, and there's virtually been no exploration for lithium in the Etheridge province. So I think just by having this occurrence there and having the knowledge that's already we know of through a public document, we now have an exploration target to explore all of our Gilbertson and Georgetown projects for lithium, and we're quite excited with the potential of this broader Georgetown region.
Yeah, and as far as the next steps there, so when would the next drilling or surveys, what are the next catalysts and timing?
Well, the next catalyst for our project in North Queensland. North Queensland is subject to the wet season, which you're probably aware of, and that kicks in about November and it goes through to late March, where you've got torrential rains and basically it hampers exploration. And I know that companies have gone up to these areas in the summer months with 2 to 3 week programs, only to have them curtailed because they've got a cyclone or torrential rain and the whole thing comes to an end. So our initial program at the Georgetown area will come at the end of the first quarter 2021, or when the wet season finishes. It changes. We're in a La Nina now, so who knows, when these things change. So as soon as we've got a window, we can get up there and explore. We'll be up there exploring. Our first thing is these tenements are new, so we'll be doing some basic exploration, geological mapping, rock sampling, soil sampling, just to get an idea of what we've got and how the area is similar to where Buchanan's is, which is the lithium project to the northwest. That's our first phase. That'll be followed up by detailed soil sampling to find quite constrained areas of lithium mineralisation. And then once we've done that, drilling. So the drilling will depend on the availability of a drilling rig. If we get these programs progressed at a quick rate next year, we could look at drilling towards the end of next year, which would probably be October, end of the field season, or very early in 2022 when that next wet season finishes.
Well, great. Now turning from offense in lithium to maybe what you'd call a defensive commodity, as in gold. Can you just talk about your Gilbertson gold project, please?
Sure. Now, our Gilbertson gold project is our key gold project. It's quite a large area. It's had very little historical mining. A company called Elton Minerals in the mid-90s developed a couple of small open pit gold mines in that area, and only operated for 2 years. Now, they were a Western Australian company. They came in with the wrong mining methods. They didn't understand the ore body. They didn't get the reconciliation right between what they thought was there and what was there after they mined. So they pulled out. And basically, since from now until the time, there's been no modern exploration apart from those 2 open cuts that produced, one produced an average grade of 3.5 grams per tonne, and the other one produced an average grade of 5 grams per tonne. So the bulk of the open pits in Australia for gold mines, averaging around about 2 grams. So when you're getting up to 5.5, you're getting very close to an underground grade as well. So these mines can then be operated. So what we have is our last drilling program intersected multiple intervals of between 3 and 4 grams, 3 and 4 metres at about 5 grams per tonne. So we've got the width, and there's multiple loads, multiple stacked parallel shallow dipping loads. Our drilling only averaged 50 metres, and only at the Gilbertson mine and a prospect nearby, which is over 1.5 kilometre trend. So we've got that 1.5 kilometre trend to explore, and across the full margin of the Mount Hogan granite is 7 kilometres of very high gold in soil target that has had very little drilling. So that's our next phase is to extend along that 7 kilometres, but also do deeper drilling to see if we can intersect the multiple lodes, which will give us much more tonnes per vertical metre for a mining operation. So that's our key thing, and we'll be on the ground there in early in the second quarter next year, and we'll be doing multiple thousand metres of drilling, I guess, and then going forward, we have a number of other metallogenic targets in that Gilberton area, which were originally gold targets, but now that we've applied the model of lithium from up near Georgetown, we will now then reevaluate the Gilberton project, and we have a number of targets there that are potentially similar geological setting where we know there's lithium mineralisation. So it opens up Gilberton to gold and lithium as it does for Georgetown. They're essentially the same rocks in the same province. We think that they're all explorable for gold and lithium, and that'll be our focus next year.
Great. And also, can you just discuss the infrastructure nearby? How is it shaping up?
Well, we've got very good infrastructure. There's a large town of Georgetown, there's a town of Forsyth, and for our Gilberton, we use the Gilberton homestead. The road access is very good. There's power, there's water. We've got local workers that we can get from Forsyth and Gilberton. And the one key aspect is that at Georgetown, which is about 50 kilometres from our Georgetown project and 90 kilometres from our Gilberton project, all on quite good station tracks. That has a throughput of about 350 million tonnes a year. So, and that is on care and maintenance, but it's in the process of being started up again. So any ore that we develop initially, we will truck to the Gilberton for processing, and if the ore goes as we think, that it's up around that 5 grams, we can take that grade ore quite easily, that distance of 90 kilometres or 50 kilometres, and monetise those projects ahead of maybe putting our own plant in once we develop maybe a 500,000 ounce resource down the track.
Yeah, and it's, you mentioned the key word, which is monetize, because if you don't have the nearby infrastructure, it does become very challenging to monetize a project, don't you think?
Oh, it does, and you need that infrastructure, and you need something that's nearby, because the cost of setting up a gold processing plant could be $10 million plus, depending on the throughput of tonnes you want per year. So if there's something there nearby, and what we also have in our advantage, we've been in negotiation with Strategic Metals Australia, who are nearby, and we've been talking about potential strategic alliances between us and them. Now they have the lithium, we have the lithium. They've also got very advanced gold projects. We've got some very advanced gold projects. So that strategic alliance down the track would be it's a possible merger of assets, and then a larger asset would make us, I guess, more attractive to a gold processing plant.
For sure. Hey, Mark, unfortunately, we have to keep these interviews short. Do you have any closing remarks for the audience?
Well, the closing remarks for the audience is that we've got some very good gold projects with potential to grow to multi-100,000 ounce deposits, and we've also got some exciting new lithium potential in that Georgetown province that has only just been tapped, and we think we've got now some more information from nearby explorers that we can take advantage of the potential of lithium and sort of enhance our critical metal profile within the company.
Mark, thank you so much. As I mentioned in the opening, we love to find these stories out there that are really not well known in the marketplace yet, and then follow them, through their journey and watch the share prices appreciate. Mark, thank you so much, and please be in touch.
And thank you for your time, and thank you for hearing our story. And our story will expand as the time goes on.
Great. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching another presentation by 180 Markets. Don't forget, if you want access to thousands of ASX capital raises, head on over to 180markets.com.au, sign up, and get on board for our very next capital raise. Thanks for watching.